this is Summer from Bujo Benny, and today we're going to be flipping through my journal that I used for the first half of 2020. This has January through June, and it is June 30th, so it is officially the last day I'm going to be using this. So I thought we'd do a mid-year flip through. This is an A5 Archer and Olive notebook, and I keep a little gold binder clip on it, so because I was taking this with me to campus when I was able to actually go to classes, so I had a binder clip that I just kept here in case I needed it to hold pages open while I was working on this in like the campus hallways. So let's open it up and see what we got. In here we just got my name and phone number, which I blurred out. We got my key and my title page, and as you can see I went with a blue theme for my setup, mostly because for this entire journal I let my boyfriend pick the colors and stuff that I used. So yep, the table of contents, my year at a glance and my important dates, and then my future log. As you can see, everything got canceled, unfortunately. And this is pretty empty because, again, this is only the first half of the year, and so I ended up not really using this and just putting it into my other journal. My memories page, I'm gonna flip past because they're kind of personal, as well as my bills and expenses, income, whatnot. And then here's my little section of things to check out. I got TV, movies, anime, and games, as well as books and places, because this was before I started an anime as well as reading journals. And then a brain dump, which I mostly use to keep track of which habits I wanted to track each month, as well as some college related stuff and short stories and poems I wanted to read for my classes, or write for my classes. Just some quotes that I liked over the last 6 months. A lot of them are from songs, and a few of them are from TV shows. My first anime tracker, and my first book tracker of this journal. Things to buy, packages that I was waiting on, and some art / refunds that I was waiting on. And then we're into January. And this is the first time I tried doing like actual art with the Tombos, and I think it turned out alright. And just a simple theme. My boyfriend chose for me to do cherry blossoms for my theme, so that's what I have. And here I actually deviated away from my usual expense tracker, and I only ended up using one page of it. And so the second page I used just to add up the totals in the categories that I usually do, and then just do my math on. My habit tracker, and I ended up just doing these bigger trackers but splitting them in half so that I could track 2 habits on one of these calendars. And they were usually related to each other, such as my 2 Instagram accounts at the time. These 2 are health related, art and writing are my creative, meals and snacks, reading, homework, shopping and eating out, so spending, and whatnot. My mood tracker, I did a doodly one. I think I saw Amanda Rach Lee do something like this. Don't quote me on that, maybe. I don't know, it's just something my boyfriend wanted me to do. And then only 1 page for homework since my classes started partway through the semester. A book tracker where I was writing down the books I wanted to read. I ended up abandoning this because I started my reading journal. Or well, it started off as a media journal where I was doing books, anime, manga, TV shows, whatever, everything. And then I later started an actual reading journal and dedicated the original one to just anime and manga. And then we have my first week where I tried Dutch door for the first time. And then I went ahead and just did the rest of the month in Dutch doors. And here is like college related stuff, such as my instructors and their contact information, my classes and the buildings that they're in, and my schedule underneath. And then in February, he wanted me to do a black and white theme using these moon stickers, so that's what I did. I'm not too excited about how this one turned out, but I was working with what he gave me. Here I went back to my usual expense tracker, and I wrote the lyrics down for this whole song just because the theme was kind of like change and whatnot, you know, like the different phases of the moon and whatnot. So yeah, the title of the song is The Change by Jason Lancaster, and he was one of the original 2 vocalists for Mayday Parade, for anyone who doesn't know, and now he has like his own album. And then 2 pages for college homework, like usual, because a full month takes a lot. Even if I wasn't skipping lines, it would still take more than a full page, so. Habit trackers, then mood. A page I made when I originally started up my Etsy shop, and then I decided to hold off on that, so I don't actually have an active Etsy shop right now. A meal log, a sleep tracker as well as a fluid intake tracker, because I was trying to drink more water and less caffeine, and as you can see that didn't work. There's plenty of caffeine involved. And we have my first weekly where I first started the Alistair method. Here, that comes out. And yeah, where you have like a list of tasks to get done, and you mark with a dot which day you want to do them, and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's what I did for every week, because this is the most classes I've ever taken in one semester, and I was really busy, so I just set up all my weeklies in advance, made them really simple, and yeah. And then here we have another anime tracker. This was before I actually created my anime journal. And then we're into March. And here you can see it's a pretty high contrast theme. I've got orange and bright green. And then I have these little cacti / succulent stickers throughout. And yeah, it was another cute theme. I really like how it turned out. I have my own little doodles that I did here and there. This little piece of washi tape isn't very sticky anymore. I think this is my favorite like habits and mood tracker out of this entire journal. I just like the way it looks with the colors, and I like how I used the washi tape to kind of like make a shelf, so to speak. And I don't know, I just think it turned out really nice, and I like the colors. And here's a tracker that I just basically abandoned, as you can see, as well as the mood tracker. I just got so busy, I didn't have time for all of this, so I just decided, you know, just not gonna do it. And then this is the month that I tried out a bunch of different weekly setups. So you can see I have several different layouts. This is kind of my go-to when I don't know what to do, except I usually don't have a next or a notes section. And this is another one that I use a lot. It doesn't always look like this, but I thought this one was really cute, how they're like different shaped pots and whatnot with the numbers in the cacti. I honestly thought about making my own little stickers, like for my Etsy shop, because I was still entertaining that idea at the time. And I thought these would make like cute stickers if I cleaned them up a bit. And I could still do that, so I mean, if anyone's interested, let me know, and when I do open up my shop, maybe I'll include them. And here My world history teacher asked me if I was interested in a class he was going to be holding next spring, and he still is. And it's kind of one of those classes where it just kind of teaches you about the culture of one country, and you actually go and visit that country for about a week or two. And this one is actually in Japan, and he wants me to take it. And I originally started learning Japanese back in high school when I was having that phase, and I thought about trying to learn the language again, but this time to actually use it, like when we go on the trip. And I did actually do way more than this. I kind of abandoned it at the end of this tracker. I kind of abandoned it, as you can see. But I did pretty much every single day in March and April, and I didn't really slack off on it until like the beginning of June, I think. I don't think I've done it a single day in June, so I really need to get back on that. And then we have bees and honeycomb, and this was my idea, but I, of course, okayed it with my boyfriend because I was letting him control my journal for this entire thing. But it was generally my idea, and I really liked it, and he really liked it, so I went with it. And instead of using a black pen for this, I actually used a brown one, which is the first time I've done that. It's something simple, but it was my first time doing it, so. Yep. Another sleep tracker, because as you can see, I have a really bad issue with waking up constantly in the beginning. But if you look at the times, it's like between like 8 and 11 o'clock when I should probably be getting up. The sun's up and all that, but I was also staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning, so maybe it was just because of when I was trying to sleep. That was the issue. I really liked this little block right here, how that looked. This is another tracker that I really liked how it turned out. And a nice little aesthetic quote page. And this is about the time I started posting more consistently on Instagram, and I was like really into my anime Instagram account. But yeah, and I tried out some new weeklies. These are the exact same days, but this is all college related, like deadlines and whatnot, and this is all home related, cleaning and cooking and whatnot. And then I just did this really simple. These are 2 different weeks on one. And there's the last week. And then I needed a 3rd page for homework. It was my first time taking 5 classes, so I didn't realize I would need that much space. And then here's a social media tracker that I did. I don't really use it much, honestly. Like, I tried to follow it for, like, my anime account, but, like, this part, I filled it out and then I never actually, like, followed it, except for, like, the first 3 posts. So, it was kind of useless, but it was a new concept and whatnot, so, I mean, just trying things out. It didn't always work, but it's fine. And then we get into May, and I just really wanted to use this new, like, rose gold washi tape that I had. I cut a bunch of them in all sorts of different patterns because I really like rose gold. But I needed a color to go with it for, like, actually writing and whatnot, and Jordan chose blue. And it doesn't look that great on camera, honestly, but it actually looks really nice with the pinker color. It looks very nice in person, but not so much on camera. And I wrote with a blue gel pen, and I tried doing this calendar style since I didn't really need a real calendar because this was in the middle of the quarantine, lockdown, social distancing, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, and then I only gave myself 1 page for my college deadlines because my semester ended before the middle of the month, so I didn't think I would need that much space. But as you can see, I used every single line, and I almost needed to make another page, so yeah. And then I wrote down my schedule for fall, and that's my habit tracker. And this is basically, these aren't even weeklies. I just listed all the days in order and didn't really care about the weeks as a whole. So I just listed them, and so I just listed the days, and then I had all the washi tape like in order and just alternated them so I could use all of them. And then I had a creating stories as well as a creating poetry class where I had to write and create my own poetry and short stories. And at the end, we had to pick our favorite author and our favorite poets for the classes and write papers about them. And usually there's a way to get out of writing the paper, because if you participate in the poetry slam or the fiction slam, you get 100% extra credit that goes towards these papers, so you don't actually have to write them if you don't want to. But all of that was canceled, so I had to write a 5-page paper on a poet and a 3-page paper on an author. That seemed kind of backwards because I had way more to write about here, but not as much to write here, so that was kind of a pain. But I got through it. And then here's a list of all of my poems. The ones I wrote for high school, the ones I wrote for my first poetry class and my second poetry class, and then the ones that I wrote on my own. And then I was planning to keep writing, but I haven't yet since I got out of class, so this area is empty. And then I kind of made like a daily task / daily routine thing that I wanted to try to follow to kind of get myself back in a routine with the whole not going anywhere thing. It was making me feel very sluggish and like I just wasn't doing anything productive. So I made this and tried to follow it. I don't follow it, but oh well. Then we're into June. And I wanted to use my paper, so I asked my boyfriend for colors to go with it, and this is what he chose. And so I chose to do like a leafy theme to go with it. And I'm back to a full calendar because June is a busy month for me as far as birthdays and whatnot. Got both of my cats' birthdays. Well, Gideon's, and then Hershey is my third cat, which is at my dad's house because he is an old fart. The cat, not my dad. But then we have my dad's birthday as well as Father's Day and my boyfriend's birthday. And it's just a busy month every year. So I decided to just give it a full calendar, even though, because everything was starting to open up by the time June came around anyways. So there's that. Expenses and habits. And my weeklies are pretty simple. They're all just this box layout, but I still tried to change it up each week, which you'll see with like the paper and whatnot. See, like I decided to cut out boxes of the paper and use that as like my boxes for my days, and I thought that was kind of neat. And then this one, I just ripped paper and taped it on and called it good, and then I did my boxes over them. And my last page has my boyfriend's birthday, as well as a list of birthday ideas for people, like my dad, Gideon, the one that actually lives with me, Kat. And then for Jordan's 21st birthday, included alcohol, a game, date night. I made him a cute letter. And then here's like some video ideas, because this is the month that I started really posting a lot on my YouTube account for journaling and reading. So anything Bujo and books is on that account. But I also have an art account that has been dead for a while, so there's video ideas for that as well, to maybe try to revive it. And for June, I also tried to use a productivity tracker for the first time. And for the most part, it went pretty well. It was kind of satisfying to fill them in, so I might replace habit trackers with this, because I feel like you don't really need both in one month, because this kind of has all your habits in it, you know? You can add whatever you want in it, so you can add things in here specifically for habit tracking, as well as just productivity in general. And then here's all my icons for it. I didn't use them all in this month, but those are all the ones that I feel like I might need. And this was me listing out all the tasks before putting them in here and assigning icons. And then here's my planning for, oops, get rid of that. And then here's all my planning for moving into my new journal, as well as some more like video notes, as well as my July TBR before I actually made it. And I have these sticky notes for video ideas, including mid-year flip through. Here's me testing the technique that I used in the yearly or the mid-year setup in my new journal, as well as grid cheat sheet. And then here's the tester page that I did at the very beginning before I actually set up this journal. And it was me testing out all my pens and markers, as well as my different inks for my stamps in case I used those. This is basically just the page I used to test out what I wanted to use for each monthly. So like we got my blues for May, orange and green for March, my yellows for April, as well as like testing this, and then testing my roses in blue that I used for my July setup in my new journal. So, but yeah. And then in here, I have these two cards, which as you can see are kind of from there. This is what inspired that color. And then we have my spring schedule for my English classes, which includes things like the poetry and fiction slam, our midterm and final readings, our book signings / readings with authors and poets, and so on and so forth. And here's 2 Polaroid pictures that Jordan's little younger cousin took of us at the family New Year's. And because for Christmas she'd gotten like a little camera that prints out Polaroids, so she was taking pictures of everybody, and she took some pictures of me and Jordan, and I kept them for the purpose of maybe doing a Polaroid theme in my journal. And also because she gave them to me, so I didn't want to just throw them away, you know, so there's that. But yeah, that is it for the first half of 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed the flip through, and I hope you guys have a good day or night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!